Eagles being embarrassed and no longer the best team in the NFC. I have said this to you for about 6 weeks. Your offensive coaches are horrible. They are horrible. They do not have a game plan. They have a rescue plan for winning games. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have swore I saw the Chicago game plan being implemented in the New Orleans Saints game. What was anything different from the Bear game? Oh, I know. Jalen not covering your ass. Jalen covered Steichen and Sirianni's ass. They were embarrassed. Some will say, Sills, 20-10. Yeah, because the Saints, you know what their problem is? They're a headless horseman. They don't have a very good quarterback. And you still turned Andy Dalton into an 81% completion percentage QB. Last week it was Dak at 77. Your coaches suck. %81 completion percentage. Some go like this. Sills, what about the play of Minshew? Correct me if I'm wrong. He's a backup for a fucking reason. The word backup is part of his identity. Backup. The Saints put it on you, and they're not very good. 2 running attempts against a team that gave up 132 yards rushing all year. And you throw the ball again like you did in the Bear game. By the way, congratulations. You may be the 5th seed. I told you this last week. Eagles aren't in playoff mode. They're reading headlines. MVP talk. 13-1. You got destroyed by a shitty team. That was embarrassing. Defense came around in the second half. It was too late. First series, 15-play drive by the Saints. How you doing? How you doing? 15-play drive. It's an embarrassing loss. They need to get their shit together, or it's too late. That team cannot beat Brady playing like that. You can't even beat Andy Dalton and Tyler Heineke. You're going to beat Brady, though. Sure. Hey, that's exactly what I want to see. The Eagles that are stumbling right now, you're stumbling going into the playoffs. Stumbling. You're not playing your best ball. You're actually regressing. Barrett Brooks said something on Sports Take, and I completely agree. That fighter's mentality is gone. Can they recover? I don't know. Does Jalen have to get this? Who would have thought this? The Giants don't have to play their starters, but the Eagles do. What? The Giants don't have to play their starters, but the Philadelphia Eagles have to? It's not a must game for the Giants, but it is for you. Wow, how the tables have turned. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Eagles by the numbers. I mean, You ran 47 plays? 19 first down. Dude, these are not imposing numbers that the Saints put up. These are like the Washington Commander numbers when they beat you. 313 total yards, 130 rushing yards, which is high. They had 35 attempts. They played eagle ball on you. They played eagle ball. They had 68 plays to 47. You're not winning that. They didn't even have to turn the ball over. Gardner Minshew, 18 of 32, 274, 1-1. Miles Sanders, 2 carries in the first half. Who is your offensive coordinator? Fire him. Oh, but your 2 receivers got their numbers. Shows you what passing stats do for you. One guy almost 100 yards, the other guy over 100, and you got worked by a shitty team. Been saying this the whole time. The Philadelphia Eagles do not have a game plan. It's a rescue plan known as Jalen Hurts. And now he plays this weekend injured. You're going into the final week of the NFL season playing your shittiest football. Not exactly what you wanted. There's a lot of teams that are playing great ball right now. You ain't one of them. If you can get beat by the Saints, you can get beat by anybody. And by the way, the damn Bears almost beat you. Do you realize the last 3 weeks, you got away with a win in Chicago? That was a 3-win team. Then a 6-win team put it on you. Then the Cowboys beat you, who I think are okay. Dude, 13 of 13, Daz. Andy Dalton. I was not shocked with Jonathan Gannon's, once again, piss-ass poor zone defense. Hey, Sills. And I'm going to finally tell you the way it is. The reason you have all those great numbers, you played some of the shittiest O-lines and the quarterbacks on any schedule I've ever seen. You're not playing high profile. Dude, you're turning mediocre quarterbacks into Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Still think you're the best team in the NFC? I, by far, do not. Damn. Dude. Hey, you guys want to hear this about Jalen Hurts and how I look at him? No question. Jalen Hurts has moved up 10 pegs, in my view, and how I see him on his importance on that team. He may actually get that $45 million because I'll tell you what, that shitty coaching staff that you have, talking about plants and T-shirts, screaming at guys in the stands, telling everybody how tough they are, this and that. Shut your mouth, Nick. Coach the fucking team. Get them motivated. I don't want to hear any more of that dumb shit out of him. And by the way, the media that confronts him on press conferences is a joke. Why would you throw the ball against a team that's 24th in run defense? All you had to do was, remember what I said last week? All you had to do was be patient. Coaching staff's not patient. You know why? Because they're inexperienced. Dude, the quarterback is ready for the postseason, Jalen Hurts. The coaching staff's not. Can't win them all. No, Keon, but you can play better and show me you care. Cam Jordan was crushing Jordan Mailata. Crushing. Tina, thank you. It is Big Sills' birthday. Man. I don't get it. I don't get it. The Philadelphia Eagles, as I said a couple days ago, they got the makings of a one-and-done team. Look at Travis. Pretty soon, 13-4, 5th seed. Going to Tampa. Brady hangs 38 on you, and you're back for the holidays. Congratulations. And you could take that 13-4 record and parade it all around on your little antennas, going down to South Philly, going over the bridge. Hey, we were 13-4 this year. What did it win you? Not even a freaking hat. Your record, as I told you, it's more how you're playing. I'll tell you what, that Charger team looks pretty damn good. The Bengals, right before the tragedy last night, I don't know, man. I think the Bengals are the best team in the National Football League. I'm going to say this to you, too. If this Eagle team loses and goes one and done, it'll be the biggest disaster in franchise history next to the Fog Bowl. Or the final game at the Vet. That team was pretty good, too. That lost to the Bucs. Congratulations to you. Playing your worst ball of the year. Some would go, well, Sills, it'll change when Jalen gets in there. Will it? You mean now teams know they can beat Jalen up like they did in Chicago? You think there's going to be some magic switch when he gets back in there? So now you're going to have a guy with a shoulder injury taking off running? That's what the coach's plan is going to be. Well, Sills, once Jalen gets back in there, the offense will be back to normal. No, it won't, because the player's not healthy. Dual threat. Dual threat has put you in a bind. Thank you, Steve. Big Sills keeps it a bean. I'm going to get to your takes here in a minute. Thank you, Steve. The dual threat quarterback system that you have puts you in a bind because your escape system that you have with your offense relies on Jalen Hurts' legs, not his arm. Who would have thought that? Hey, all the things you guys have been saying, he's gotten better, Sills, throwing the ball. Absolutely. He's gotten better reading a defense. Absolutely. But his number one asset is breaking down teams on third down and covering the offensive coaches. Can I show you something here, guys? Before I get to your takes, here's why your coaches suck. On offense. Defense, you know how I think about them losers. When you actually had to put a game plan together for Gardner Minshew, because you know he's not the dual threat guy that your system is based on, they couldn't do it. They put Minshew in a position to fail. That game was on the coaches, albeit the players got to go out there and execute. He didn't. But that's why he's a perennial backup. You're not looking. The reason that the Saints are 6-9 is because Andy Dalton is a fringe starter / backup. And what was this Saints plan? Do you understand? The Saints ran a wing T at you and went 15 plays in the opening drive. They ran a wing T. Something the Army teams did back in the 40s. And you couldn't stop it. Or you didn't want to stop it. I don't know. Maybe a little of both. A wing T snapping the ball to Alvin Kamara or Taysom Hill. They beat you with the simplest offenses. There was a plan. The coaches had a plan. Carmichael had a plan. This is how we're going to beat them. Here was the Eagle plan. Well, throw it. And when you couldn't cover the incompletes and the 3 and outs, it was only a matter of time before the pick 6. Hey, when I saw Marcus Lattimore out there as well, I knew there was trouble. I knew there was trouble. That was terrible. MVP race, over. Top 10 teams. Top quarterback play heading into the final weekend of the NFL. Playoff picture. Let's take a look at that. Should be embarrassed. Should be embarrassed. Hey, that tragedy last night kept it so that, guess what? The Eagle coaches don't have to face any kind of wrath with their shit-ass game plan. Man, those guys look like they didn't belong in the NFL. That was terrible. The whole thing was terrible. I thought it was the Bears' game plan. East Camden for life. Hurts is the system. Hurts made it his system. You think the coaches put that together? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. NFC picture. Eagles, as of right now, have the bye. People kept telling me Niners won't make the playoffs under third quarterback and killing teams. They got a little threatened in the first half of their last game. All of a sudden, they just said, you know what? Let's put the gas pedal down. Crushed them. Vikings. I call them the Wobblers. Cowboys. Call them the Pretenders. The Giants. Maybe, can I tell you this? I think the New York Giants are the best coached team in the NFC East. No problem saying that. Are they as talented as the Eagles? No. But they're better coached. You turn Dime Jones around. They're better coached. Seahawks. Here's how it would look. As of today, Eagles get the bye. Niners, Seahawks, Vikings, Giants, Bucks, and Cowboys. You would play the winner of the Bucks and Cowboys. Both those teams can beat you today. Both those teams have beaten you this year. AFC, Chiefs, Bills in the 2-hole. Obviously, last night's game, I don't know how they're going to make that up. Yet to be determined. Bengals, Jaguars are in the 4th hole. They beat the Titans this weekend. They're in. Unbelievable job, Doug. Chargers finally winning ball games. Justin Herbert looks like a stud. GT, Tampa didn't play you this year? You might want to go back and look at the calendar. It starts in January, dude. Ravens in the 6 hole. Patriots in the 7 hole. Yeah, you might want to go back. You know, I said this year, there's 12 months in the year, GT. Man. 49ers suck. Really? You suck worse. Hurts will refocus the team. Really? Hurts will refocus the team. You need to have a quarterback refocus a team of millionaires. So if Green Bay makes it, then it changes it. Yeah, and then you get Aaron Rodgers again, playing better, and you playing worse. Big Sills, is Minshew still your guy? Yeah. I think he's a great backup quarterback. Absolutely. I don't have a problem with him. I think your coaches blow. He's exactly who he is for me. He's a backup QB. You got one of the better guys in the league. Yeah. 274 this past weekend, 355 the weekend before. I'm not sure what you're looking for. Are you looking for Patrick Mahomes and Gardner Minshew? Well, then you're looking in the wrong place. Bro, he's a backup. So who would you rather put in there? Ian Book? He's a backup quarterback. I don't have a problem with Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew threw a pick 6. Really? Well, he's a backup quarterback. And Marcus Lattimore jumped the route. Gee, an all-pro. Brian goes, so Dan, what do we do? Dude, got to go back to basics and being simple again. And who you are. Can I say this to you? I think the Philadelphia Eagles have lost their identity. I think you've lost your identity. Reading your press clippings, having everybody, Paulie Shore telling you how great you are, and all the media guys talking about, I've been steadfast the entire year in telling you who you are. You've played shit quarterbacks. You've played mediocre teams. And when you get into a game where you don't play your best ball, you'll get beat by anybody. And that includes a 6-win Saints team. You have to play perfect ball to beat everyone. You almost lost to the Bears. You are a fourth quarter football team. Get used to it. You are a running attack team. Some would go, Sills, we got 2 1,000-yard receivers. Yeah. But that's all set up off of play action. When they don't think Gardner Minshew's going to run, why would the coaches put him in a position like that to throw the ball when you're playing against a team that gave up 132 yards rushing? So what if you beat the Saints 14-10? Who cares? This is not college football where you have to have like a beauty pageant. Nobody cares. Look at what the Cowboys did with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush wasn't completing a lot of passes. But what was the most important thing? He didn't turn it over, and he was undefeated until he played the Eagles. They weathered the storm with him because they knew how to put a game plan together. This staff does it in Philly. When Minshew ran the RPO, dude, what was Minshew doing running RPOs? I'll tell you. Your offensive coaches don't have a game plan. They ran the same Jalen Hurts offense with a drop-back quarterback. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I go, they're going to lose this game. They're going to lose it. You want to hear something crazy? Never at any time did I think the Eagles were going to win that game. No, I'll take that back. After the 15-play drive to open the game, I never thought there was a moment you were going to win that game. I never thought there was a moment. When they went 15 plays on you to open the game and took 9:34 off the clock, I said, there's not a chance they'll lose this game, New Orleans. I'm watching this game. I'm going like, the Eagles aren't winning this. At home. Wow. Wow. Eric goes, you sound like the Eagles are the only terrible team. The Eagles are not a terrible team. It's a troubled team. It's an injured team. It's an unprepared team. Your football team was unprepared to play an NFL football game this past Sunday. They were unprepared. They were not prepared to play. They thought they were just going to throw their helmets on the field and that the Saints weren't going to show up. And guess what happened on the way to the party? The Saints showed up, and they were surprised. Never take an opponent lightly. Never take an opponent for granted. Ever. You're not that team yet. And you're surely not that team without Lane Johnson, Jalen Hurts, Avonte Maddox. You're not that team. Now, Josh Sweat's out. So wait a minute now. You got arguably the most improved player on your football team out, and Lane's out. Your quarterback's banged up, and you think you're 13-3. A 7-9 team could beat you right now, and that's most likely the Bucs. Or 8-9. They lose this last game. Very pathetic. Very pathetic. They only scored 10 points regardless of how bad Minshew played. And get this. Some would go, Sills, they held the Saints to 20 points. Are you under some sort of illusion here that the Saints are a high-powered offense? That's all they needed. Shit, they only really needed 17 points. Hell, they only needed 11 points to beat your ass. Keon, worst 13-3 team in the league. The Eagles are the worst 13-3 team in the league. You're not better than the Chiefs and Bills. You're not better than those teams. Shit, you're not better than the 49ers. Look at Maurice. Not true. You got your shit stuffed in against the Saints, guy. I wouldn't be parading around talking about how good you are. And get this. They gave the ball to the running back 2 times in the first half. He's a Pro Bowler, for God's sakes. Your starting quarterback's out. What is wrong with you? Or are you that incompetent? Reaching, Sills, let us get healthy. Okay, Xavier, I never said that. That's why I pointed out all the injuries. When healthy, yes. You're not, though. You're talking fantasy land. I'm talking reality of who you are today on January 3rd. Stop talking about the September. You're not the September Eagles. There's players missing. You are not the September Eagles. Stop acting like it. Run the ball. Dude, Jack Driscoll is not very good at pass protection. You knew that. Why didn't you run it? Instead, Driscoll got hammered. Why would you go into the teeth of the strength of someone? Hey, Dan, you just answered your own question because you're not a very good game plan coaching staff. Last 2 weeks, as I said, dude, so Dak's 77% and Andy Dalton's 81%. What happens when you take on Brady? What happens when you take on Rodgers this time with the team playing better, the Packers? I think they started playing better actually right after the Eagle game. They still put like 35 points on you. Our defense has gotten better. This reminds me of Thanksgiving because the birds are cooked. William, I don't know how you turn it around. If they had all their pieces, I would think you could turn it around. But you don't. You're a wounded football team. How about this? You are right now playing your worst football of the year. How come no one will say that? The Eagles are playing their worst football of the year. Started in Chicago. It started in Chicago. You're playing the worst football of the year, and you're completely banged up. And you're going to turn that around against Brady. Here's the problem. So you're going to be banged up going into a game against the banged up Bucs team. My money's on Brady. Both teams banged up. My money's on Brady. You can take Jalen Hurts all you want. I'll take Tom Brady. Your football team's not the same team it was in September. You lost the best right tackle, according to Nick, the best tackle in the game. You got an 11-sack guy out now for God knows how long, and I pray for him. Kaiser White's not playing well. Your corners, I mean, I don't know what's happened to them the last month. And your safety position is musical chairs. But you still think you're the best team in the NFC. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do my top 10 teams. Roland, what don't you like what I'm saying? I'm interested. Tampa's terrible? Tampa's terrible. You must have missed that Saints-Eagles game at home. You must have missed that game. When Andy Dalton beat your 13-2 team. Andy Dalton and Tyler Heineke have beaten you this year. I don't know, dog. I get Dak. Those other two guys are worms. I don't get it. Look at GT with Minshew. Well, you can't take credit for the win against Cowboys then. They had Cooper Rush. 13-1 with our MVP. He ain't no MVP. Be lucky to finish in the top 5. Dual threat has put that team in a position. You know why? It's not sustainable. He missed important games. Your quarterback is also accountable for this. He's not responsible, but he's also accountable. You know why? Availability is part of this. Brady doesn't miss games late in the year. Ever. Mahomes don't miss games late in the year. Ever. That's what franchise quarterbacks do. They don't miss important games. Ever. Dual threat. Look at the Ravens stumbling around, trying to find their place. You know what they're doing right now? They're getting by with Tyler Huntley, which I think is so admirable that the kid's playing the way he is. He's not playing superstar football, but they're winning with him. And they're going to do this. I want a healthy Lamar Jackson in the postseason. More so than worrying about where we're seeding is. That's how they looked at it. You know, the Eagles might want to take a page out of that. How important is it to put Jalen Hurts in there to get home field advantage? And if he gets banged up again, then you're finished. You're not going to go into a Buck game with Gardner Minshew. You're going to play Brady with Gardner Minshew? It's not even worth playing. We haven't seen Jalen play his best ball yet. You won't either. He misses important games. Why? Dual threat. Not sustainable. Been telling you this all year. You don't pay dual threat $45 million because they will miss games that matter. Playing against the Texans doesn't matter. Missing Cowboy games and playoff seeding games and games that matter for home field advantage matter. Jalen Hurts has missed the most important games of the year. A closeout game versus the Saints and the Cowboy game. You know why? Because if you happen to lose to the Giants, the Cowboys have the tiebreaker. You're the 5th seed. You're the wild card. You go to Tampa. Thirteen and 3. Dual threat. The Giants don't have to play. You do. You do. And you're either going to play probably Dak or you're going to play Brady. Man. He missed meaningless game. Arthur, you're right. These games didn't mean shit, even though now the entire NovaCare Center is completely panicking. Hey, Shakur, you're 13 and 1. You know what it got you? You have to play your starters in week 18. Congratulations. Hey, great year. Do you have? I guess we don't have to play our starters. We're all paying. No, you have to. You have to play Jalen Hurts. You have to. The Giants don't have to play their guys. The Giants. This is oh no, it is William hilarious. You potentially go to be. Look, I don't know what happens. You lost to the shitty Saints. I don't. Oh, this will be a foregone conclusion. They'll beat the Giants. Okay. I'm not sold on that. You played shitty ball for 3 weeks. I'm not sold on that. Dan, what coaches would you fire? Dude, the defensive coordinator. I hope he gets a head coaching job. And then he could go be Jonathan Hackett somewhere else. And the offensive coach, man, get Frank Reich's ass in there. Get Frank in the building. Please save the season. Bring Frank Reich in. Please save the season. Put a game plan together. Can you imagine if this football team had the 2017 coaching staff? They'd be undefeated. They'd be undefeated. As soon as Wentz went down, they had a game plan for Foles. Immediately. That fit him. They tailor-made a game plan for Nick. You know what they did for Gardner Minshew? They gave him the game plan from Chicago and said, go out there and implement it. Well, RPO's Gardner Minshew? Really? As soon as Wentz went down, dude, when Foles played against the Giants, I was like, holy shit. What did he throw for 5 touchdowns in that game? I was like this. Okay, well, that looked pretty good. Actually, he threw for 5 touchdowns against the Giants. Defense only gave up. That's all they needed to beat you. Look at this. Sam, man, Foles looked terrible until the NFC title game. I mean, get this. See, when you hear that. So the divisional game, he won. He finished up the regular season so you could get home field advantage. He threw for 4 or 5 touchdowns against the Giants in his first start, and he looked horrible. I'm sorry, I don't remember that. His first start, he threw for 4 or 5 touchdowns. You guys got some offensive gurus over there. Shit, man, it's Ernie Zampese. I couldn't believe the offensive skill set that you have with your offense. Dude, they are horrible. They are horrible. They're very simple to figure out. The Giants will figure that out. They'll play better. I don't know they'll beat them. They'll play better, though. That's why Washington figured them out second time through. It's not that hard a system to figure out. The Eagle offense is not very hard to figure out. Hey, watch this. He's not open. Go ahead, Jalen, run. There's your system. That's not sustainable. It's not. Woo-wee! Is this going to be interesting? This is either going to be fabulous or the biggest turd burger in Eagle history. Well, it was a turd burger on Sunday, I'll tell you. Woo-wee! The Saints kicked your ass. Man, that was a butt whipping. Hey, Jack Driscoll looked like a turnstile at Lincoln Financial. He was just turning like this. He was just turning. I was like, hey, Cam, Jesus, criminy. They were taking turns on the guy. He was like a turnstile. I was like, what the? The man. Number 1 seed on a tee. Yeah, you better get it. You got to play all your guys. The Giants, they may play their JV team. Oh, man. Boy, are you guys in trouble. Woo-wee! And now what's happened is you've lost your identity. Now you think you're going to flip the switch and you think you're going to win the East. Okay. Ain't that easy, is it? Remember I told you I think you're going to lose potentially 3 games down the stretch? Never happened, Sells. Well, one more to go. One more to go. GT, one more to go, baby. It's 3 straight. Wild Card City. I'm not sure, though. Hey, GT, I'm not sure you get a T-shirt for, like, a wild card seat. I think you get a T-shirt for, like, a division title and maybe a hat. I don't really think you get anything for, making it in. And by the way, you'll be going into the playoffs the same way you did last year, limping in. Josh goes, Dan loves this. I do. Because his football team needs to get back to who they are. They've forgotten who they are. You have forgotten. Yeah, who should we play here? If we play this guy here a couple games, maybe we could just go ahead and do this. Hey, let's rest this guy. It's your general manager getting his fat face in the way again. This is Howie all over it. This guy Howie all over this. Management decisions. Boy, you tell me it's not. Running the same game plan that you did in Chicago. That's a Jalen Hurts game plan for Gardner Minshew. It's asinine. It's asinine. This is asinine. Asinine. And get this, in that game, they were 31st against the run. You guys are at least consistent. That coach in Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni, has an ego as big as the GM. We're going to start throwing it because we got to throw in. We got 2,000-yard receivers. Well, ever since you guys have established those 2 guys and not established Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders, do you understand that's why you've lost your identity? Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders have not been established. Establishing AJ and Devonta, they're getting their numbers. But you're playing worse ball. You're a running team. Now you're trying to become a finesse team. Facts. Shows we got 2 1,000-yard receivers. And you got beat by the Saints. Congratulations. And the Cowboys took you out too. Now the Giants could make it a 3-pack. Wait. Yeah, but we got our numbers. Yes, you did. It's obvious Hurts is important. Hurts is so important, maniac. Those coaches, man, I mean, but get this. You know why Nick, hey, can I tell you this? You know why Nick Sirianni can't answer the media at the press conference or when he's on WIP? You know why he can't? He doesn't have any answers. He's got to clear it through Howie. The reason he can't tell you anything on who's going to play, who's not going to play, who this and that, is because the general manager makes that decision. Wait, you think the head coach does? Dude, that looks like a – can I tell you what the game plan looks like? It looks like a general manager put the game plan together. That looks like an inexperienced guy with influence on a game plan. Because anybody who turned on the Saints film, like this, you turn on those old school projectors, hell, I'll send them one. I got one. You turn on one of them old school projectors, they can't stop the run. Okay, they're pretty good at pass. They're getting Lattimore back too. So let's run the ball, establish it. We'll be patient. We'll wear him out in the end. Driscoll's going to struggle a little bit against Cam Jordan because Cam can rush the passer, and they're probably going to do games on him with Dennis Allen. So let's run the ball, and let's run it, Cam. We may be behind 10-7, okay? And on defense, you knew they were going to run the wishbone. That team ran the wishbone at you. Every time you saw Taysom Hill, did you really think he was going to drop back and beat you? I mean, it was so simple. And yet they couldn't game plan it. GT goes, who will be the number 1 seed? Yet to be determined. Here, watch this. What a great movie. It's either going to be the Limping Eagles or the Charging Niners or the Cardiac Vikings or the GOAT. Shit, he's still alive? Yeah. GOAT was getting beat, and he just went into GOAT things. Him and Mike Evans, and they said enough of this shit. They just said enough of this. Maybe in hour number 3, Xander. We'll get the sports doctor on. Talked about we'll talk about last night. And we'll get his thoughts here on Hamlin. Thank you very much. Hurts will throw for 500 yards and 4 TDs. It still falls short of 4K. I done. 4K, baby. 4K. What happened to 4K? 38 touchdowns. He got hurt. Oh. Really? Niners are red hot, dog. Whew, man, dude, they're a good football team. Look at these guys. Chiefs are very beatable. What are you? Hey, stick to under 500 teams. Work on that one. He didn't get 4K passing yards. Never happened. Ever. Here are Big Sil's top 10 NFL teams. The coaching job of the year has to go to Doug Peterson. The Jags are at 10. Dude, NTN and Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence has been playing the best football of anybody at the quarter position in the last 2 months. Dude, he was fantastic. Jags at 10. I got the Ravens at 9. I don't know what I'm going to get with that team. If Lamar Jackson plays, they're going to be a formidable team to have to play in the postseason. Number 8, Justin Herbert. Man, is he looking great. Chargers at number 8. Number 7, Vikings. Team I don't believe in. Number 6, the Cowboys. I got the Cowboys there. Number 5, Big Sil's top 10 NFL teams. The Philadelphia Eagles at 5. Number 4, the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills. Number 2, the San Francisco 49ers. And the number 1 team in the NFL is the Bengals. Joey B, how you doing? Now, to be fair here, I think one of those 5 teams can win the Super Bowl. Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Bengals. I think the rest of them, those are the 5 best teams. You could throw them in a hat and put an order together, and you'd probably be okay. You probably don't want to put Philly number 1 because they're all banged up. I got guys missing everywhere. Okay? Got dudes missing everywhere. Bengals are playing some amazing football, especially after the 0-2 start. What a team. What a football team. Bengals and the Niners are playing the best ball of anybody in the NFL right now. Those are the 2 hottest teams. Bengals and 49ers. Wait, the Eagles can still win the Super Bowl after you? Yeah. Get healthy. Get healthy. Bengals will never be one on any list. Really. They were the number 1 team in the AFC last year and are the defending champions of the AFC. What are you talking about, dude? They've actually accomplished something. You haven't. You can't even beat the Saints. Yeah. Yeah, well, we beat Cooper Rush. I know. Don't lose to the Giants, man. You got to go to Tampa to see that dude. Brady, man. Man. Gary Cobb will be with us from Fox 29 in Philadelphia at 4:30. The Giants, dude, don't beat the Eagles. Don't do that. What if the Giants, man, and Dimes Jones beats them? He's already got a win against them. Holy cow, man. They got to play Hurts. Hurt. Joey B, he's not great. Really? So you'd rather, hey, Shakir, you'd rather have Jalen Hurts than Joe Burrow, right? Is that right? Is that what you're saying? Shakir, you'd rather have Jalen Hurts than Joe Burrow. Is that right? I just want to I want to hear that. I want to hear that so I can laugh going into hour 2. Please tell me. Hurts went 13-1 and has so what? Burrow went to the Super Bowl. That's actually winning something. You know, you get a hat for that too. You get a ring. Oh, man, this is really Big Sil's top quarterback play going into the final week of the NFL. Gary Cobb. Woo! By the way, any update on Hamlin, we'll give it to you. We'll find out a little bit more if anything has been released. I know he's on a ventilator. People in Cincinnati have told us this. So hour number 2, please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.